What's up everyone, my name is Sam. Thanks so much for joining my YouTube channel today. Today's practice is going to be themed around welcoming the autumnal equinox. First day of fall is tomorrow, September 22nd. This practice will be themed around slowing down, practicing gratitude, themes of abundance and thankfulness. We're going to get started in a Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined bound angle pose. Feel free to bring a pillow or a prop for under your head, your neck, or your low back if that appeals to you, and I'll meet you there. So we are coming to the mat for reclined bound angle pose, or Supta Baddha Konasana, just to drop in. So you come all the way down to your back, bring the soles of the feet together, and maybe put a pillow under your head or neck or low back, whatever feels right. We're going to drop in here, so we'll be here for a minute. Just beginning to settle in. Starting to quiet the mind. Sink into your mat. Slow down. Today's practice is meant to welcome the fall season, the autumnal equinox. So we'll start to do that just by really slowing down as the changing of the seasons prompts us to do. We're going to be practicing gratitude with an abundance mindset, so we can be thinking about opening up the heart chakra. Overall, we're just going to be connecting with the breath, slowing down the breathing, allowing yourself to slow down, and just creating this space for yourself to practice some self-care. Check in with the bodies, physical, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual. You might take this time to incorporate a mantra, or start to frame your practice. Give yourself this opportunity just to let go and start observing the bodies. As you start settling in, you might envision a warm light coming from the heart space. You can let your palms rest open to the left and to the right, or you can let them rest anywhere on the body that helps you feel connected. Start to let your body know it's okay to relax. Make sure you're not tensing or holding anywhere, like in the face, or the hands, or the feet. Letting your shoulders melt down to the earth, to the mat. Letting your knees fall apart naturally, letting gravity do the work there. Take your time settling into the breath, the natural breathing rhythm. And just look for opportunities to slow down and to quiet the mind. When you feel settled into the earth or your mat, when you feel ready to begin incorporating movement into your practice, you might start by gently opening the eyes if they're closed, coming back to the body. Then I'm going to use my hands, bringing them to the outside of the thighs just to guide the knees back toward one another. You can move any pillows that you're using. We'll start just by letting the knees fall to the left and to the right. Just massaging through those hip flexors and the glutes. When you feel good about it, you can kick your feet up off the floor and bring your fingertips and palms to the front of the knees. And we'll just start lubricating the hip joint by bringing the knees in toward the chest and then just drawing circles with the knees, keeping the toes connected. Just noticing what you feel and where. Maybe reversing those circles if it feels good. Massaging through the hip flexors and just warming up through the hips more generally. Remember that all of my cues are merely suggestions, so feel free to move in any way that your body is asking you to. This is your practice. I encourage you to make it your own and learn to take your cues from the bodies. When you feel good about that, you can tuck your knees all the way into the chest and just wrap your arms around them, creating some compression at the front of the hip. Maybe rocking gently left to right to massage through the low back. When you're ready to transition, be mindful about that. We'll come up to a seated position by any means that are comfortable for you. So I'm going to put my hands behind the backs of my thighs, keep my heels up toward the ceiling, and then roll up the spine. Coming up to a comfortable cross-legged seat, I'll turn to face you. You can stay where you are or turn to face me, whatever works. Feel free to put a pillow under your hips if you need that adjustment. Settle into your comfortable cross-legged seat here, just noticing without judgment what you feel, what's going on in the bodies. So take some time just to check in with your posture, your chakral alignment. You're nice and open through the chest, able to take deep, full breaths. And maybe letting go of something on your exhale. Once you've settled in here, I'm going to root down through the sits bones, feel that connection to the earth, and then we'll bring our palms facing one another upward and toward the ceiling. So just extending both arms fully up and overhead, really reaching, getting longer through the torso, through the spine. Maybe reaching a little bit higher, like you're climbing a ladder. Feeling that decompression through the spine. And then we'll gently hinge at the hips, melt forward, bringing the palms down toward the floor. Maybe shake out the head and neck, relax through the shoulders. Take a deep breath. Nice and passive here, just letting the palms rest on the floor. Notice which shin or which foot is in front in your cross-legged seat. And we're going to press into the fingertips and walk them over to that corresponding knee. So my right shin is in front, so I'm going to walk my fingertips over to the right side, over my right knee, right thigh somewhere, and fold forward over just that side. As you do, you're pulling your opposite knee and hip downward toward the mat. Notice what you feel in the side body or anywhere else in the body. If you want to get a little deeper into that sensation, you might walk the fingertips a little further away from the body. Just make sure that opposite hip is anchored to the floor. Notice the sensations of the breath. Notice how your deep breaths stretch deeper into those tissues. Take your time on this side. When you're ready, press into the fingertips and walk them over to that second side. Nice and slow, like you're moving through water. Once you get there, melt down over that second knee, second thigh, or somewhere near there. Maybe just letting the palms rest on the floor, or maybe walking the fingertips a little further away from the body. Keeping that opposite hip anchored, breathing deep down the side body and into that hip. Take as much time as you'd like on this side. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, you can press into the fingertips once again and walk the palms back through center. And back to that seated forward fold. We'll root down through the sits bones here, planting the pelvis, slowly curling up through the lumbar spine, then the thoracic, coming all the way up to that nice long line posture, shoulders back, chest open, moving slow and with the breath. Good. From here, we'll get deeper into that side body. We'll start by bringing the right palm down to the mat on the outside of that outside edge of that right hip. Make sure that you feel rooted down through both hips. You feel nice and anchored and planted there. From here, we're going to gently slide the right hand away from the body, coming down toward forearm to the mat. I'm resting my left hand on my left knee, left thigh, and that's just kind of to remind me or to cue me if my left hip, left knee start coming up off the mat. So I'm not pressing down necessarily, but just using the weight of gravity of my hand to kind of hold that hip in place gently. Remember, if your forearm doesn't come all the way to the mat, that's totally okay. Just bend into the elbow and bring it down as close as it'll go. Not forcing any shapes or sensations, just being curious and open in the body. Once you feel nice and stable there, you can go ahead and circle that left hand up and over to hover somewhere above the right. Maybe pulling that left shoulder back and looking toward the ceiling. Maybe connecting with some nice full inhales. Maybe letting something go on your exhales. Feel free to also make this pose dynamic if that appeals to you. You might slide your hand forward like you're running across an invisible pane of glass. And just continue that movement, noticing how that changes the sensations that you feel, especially in the back body, side body. You can also just find stillness in this pose, whatever works for you. We have an abundance of options. We're practicing gratitude for our ability to move, to breathe deep, to see another season change. Take your time here. When you feel good about it, we'll slowly slide that left hand back up to that left knee. Press into the right palm, extend through that elbow, then come back up to your comfortable cross-legged seat. What we do to one side, we'll do on the other. So we'll start by bringing that left palm to the outside edge of the left thigh or left hip, fingertips pointing away from you. You might rest your right hand on the top of the right thigh, right knee, and then we'll gently slide the left hand away from the body, coming down toward forearm to the mat, or maybe just bending into the elbow. Take your time to get anchored here and to honor the transitions. Make sure you're rooted down through that right hip, connected to the mat, anchored there. When you feel ready, you can gently guide that right hand up and over to hover somewhere above the left hand. Maybe pulling that right shoulder back and looking toward the ceiling. Maybe incorporating some dynamic movement here. Opening up through the heart space. Finding something to be grateful for in this moment and throughout your practice. Take your time here. Notice what you feel and where without judgment. Slowing way down, moving with intention. And bringing it all the way back through center when you're ready. And slowly bring that right hand back to the right knee. Slide that left hand in toward the body, coming to an upright position. Take a minute, check in with your spinal alignment once again, check in with the breath, settle into that. And then we can stretch a little bit through the neck and shoulders, just beginning by rotating, drawing small circles with the nose. Try to challenge yourself to slow way down. We do this little warm-up very often. Try to find something different here today. Take your time moving through this circular motion. Feel free to reverse it if it feels good. Tuck the chin to the chest if it feels good. Be curious in the body. Notice any tension or sticking points that you feel without judgment. And just bring your mind's eye to any areas that need special attention, as well as the fullness of your breath. Feel free to incorporate any easy organic movement from this position that feels right. You want to give yourself a little neck massage, feel free. Sometimes even just the heat of your hands can help relax the muscles and connective tissues. Slowing it way down. Letting go of expectations. Spend as much time here as you need. Checking in with the head and neck. We'll continue stretching through the upper back by coming into a little eagle arms, bind, or self-embrace, your choice. So to do that, we'll bring palms together at the chest, fingertips facing me or facing away from you. And then we'll open up the palms, bringing them together behind the back or toward one another behind the back. So really opening up through the heart space, radiating gratitude, getting ready for that slow transition into your bind. We'll bring the palms very slowly back toward one another. Send one arm under the other. I'm going to put my right arm under my left. And you can either bring your fingertips to the top of your upper back behind the shoulders and walk them toward one another. Or you can bend at the elbows and find a bind with the arms. So my right fingertips are on the inside of my left palm. Kind of twisting the forearms together here, stretching through the upper back. Wherever you are, connect with the breath. Take a nice big inhale. Lift the elbows. And on your exhale, gently curl inward. Bringing your elbows in toward the ribs, ribs toward the back body. Relaxing through the head and the neck. Noticing the fullness of your inhale. And letting go of what you don't need on your exhale. Take this time just to turn inward. Quiet the mind. Slow down with an abundance mindset. You have time, you have space. This is a safe space. Gently bat the eyes open if you closed them here. To come out of this pose and switch to the second side, we'll start just by rooting down through the sits bones, noticing that connection to the earth. Planting your pelvis, curling slowly up through the lumbar, through the thoracic spine, lifting the elbows to about shoulder height. And then we'll gently unravel that bind. Bring the palms away from each other once again and toward one another behind the back. Again, just radiating through that heart chakra. Imagining that light of gratitude coming from the heart space. And then we'll slowly bring the palms back toward one another, this time opposite arm underneath. What you did to one side, do to the other. So either fingertips to the upper back or coming into that eagle arms bind. Either way, keep the elbows lifted nice and high. Connect deeply with the breath here. On your inhale, lift the elbows, get long through the spine. Exhale, curling inward. Elbows come in toward the ribs. Ribs come in toward the back body. Relax through the head and neck. Breathe deep. Notice what's different on this side, if anything. Get some nice deep inhales. Give yourself a few quiet moments just to let go of something that you don't need. When you're ready to come out, do so slowly, gently, and mindfully, rooting down through the sits bones and slowly curling up through the spine like you're moving through water. Always looking for opportunities just to slow down. Opening up one more time through the heart space, and then bringing the palms just to rest gently on the knees, checking in with your posture. From here, we're going to roll forward onto all fours, check in with our cat-cow and a couple other poses. So I'm going to turn to center myself on the mat. Feel free to do the same, whatever works for you. If you already know what to do, go ahead at your own pace. Otherwise, we'll start by bringing the palms under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Nice neutral tabletop spine. So neutral spine means the natural curvature is existing as it would. You're relaxed through the spine. So from here, we're going to sync up with the breath. On your next inhale, let's tilt the pelvis forward, drop the low ribs down toward the mat, tail toward the ceiling, lifting the gaze, shoulders back. And on your exhale, press into the palms and the tops of the feet. Low ribs come in to meet the spine, stretching through the upper back and really pressing away from the mat. Go ahead and connect with the breath. Move at your own pace. And as always, feel free to incorporate any other movement that you want here by bending into the elbows, maybe drawing circles with the ribs or with the hips. Otherwise, just moving through spinal flexion and extension and further lubricating the hip joints. Move through as many iterations of this as you'd like. When you feel nice and warmed up through the spine, we'll move next into a puppy pose. So move at your own pace. To do that, I'm going to walk my hands forward a little bit and kind of rotate them away from each other like we do for downward dog. From here, I'm going to lower my chest and forehead all the way down to the mat. And you can make this nice and passive or more active. So you can just relax, letting the weight fall on the forearms and the palms through the shins, or you can engage the lower abdominals to flatten the low back, pressing the armpit chest down toward the mat. So find whatever variation you want, whatever works for you today. Settle into that and relax. Opening up through the heart space, remembering gratitude, abundance, and slowing down this season. You can spend as much time here as you'd like. We're going to next move into a counter stretch with the pose from a similar starting position. So gently transition out of puppy when you're ready by coming back into that tabletop all fours position. From here, I'm going to, let's see, what hand should I start with? I'll start by planting my left hand under the middle of my chest. And I'm gently going to drag my right fingertips across that left arm, across the chest and up toward the ceiling. Really opening up through that chest space. Imagining that warm light radiating outward from the heart space. From here, I'm going to guide those right fingertips all the way down and under the left arm, coming down onto that right ear, right shoulder, right tricep. Left palm is planted under the left shoulder, but you might slide it up toward the top left corner of your mat. Again, you can stay nice and passive here, just relaxing into this pose. Or you can make it a little more active just by pulling that right shoulder in toward the socket. Don't forget to incorporate your breath work. Allowing your breath to amplify the sensations of the pose, to detoxify and to cleanse on your exhale. If you feel good on this side, you can transition when you're ready, and we'll do the same thing on the next side. So I'm going to start just by pulling my left palm in under my left shoulder and pressing that palm into the mat to unravel. I'm going to bring my right hand back up toward the ceiling, checking in with that range of motion. And then bring that right palm back down to the mat for your neutral tabletop position. From here, I'll bring my right palm somewhere under the center of my chest and do the same thing on the second side by dragging the left fingertips along the inside edge of the right arm, across the chest, and up toward the ceiling. So again, just checking in with the range of motion here, really opening up through the chest. And then eventually guiding those left fingertips under the right arm, coming down onto that left shoulder, left tricep, left ear. You can plant that right palm under the right shoulder, or maybe slide it up toward the top right corner of the mat. Reconnect with the breath. Maybe pulling that left arm in toward the left shoulder socket, stretching through the upper back, or maybe just relaxing into this, melting down into your mat. Take a minute just to slow down and turn inward. Take your time here. And when you're ready to come out, start by bending into that right elbow, bringing that right palm under the right shoulder, pressing into the mat. Dragging those left fingertips across the mat and back up toward the ceiling, checking in again with that range of motion, radiating outward from the chest, from the heart space. And gently floating that left hand back down to the mat, coming back into that neutral tabletop. Okay, from here I'm going to bring the big toes into touch, send the hips back toward the heels, walk the hands forward, and just relax into an extended child's pose. Preparing both the body and the mind just to generally slow down with the season change. Realigning our bodies with the natural tempo and cycles of the earth. And a universal vibration of energy. You're cueing your nervous system just to start slowing down in general, to be open to rest. To relax in the abundance of harvest season. Bring your awareness to the fingertips when you're ready. Let's press into all 10 fingertips. Lift the forearms from the mat. Gently lift the forehead from the mat. We'll slowly walk the hands toward the body. So before coming all the way up to the body, we're going to curl the toes under. Come onto the balls of the feet. And then continue walking the hands up toward the body. So we're going to come into a squat here. Go ahead and adjust, get comfortable. Maybe roll through both knees and both hips, just checking in with your mobility here. And then eventually sinking the hips down toward the mat, bringing palms together at the heart space. Maybe practicing gratitude for the fullness of your breath or the ability to move in this way, for the sensations of the body. When you're ready, let's slowly release the palms to the mat. And from here, we're going to extend through both knees to come into a standing forward fold. You can walk the feet in a little bit closer or further away if you need to. We'll take a moment here just in stillness. Maybe taking this time to turn inward, to let the body know it's okay to relax. Of course, if the standing forward fold is not accessible to you, you can use blocks or props here, or rest your hands on the tops of your knees, lower thighs, or on the shin, wherever. Take one more big inhale and let something go on your exhale. Good. From here, we're going to open up through the heart space once again. We'll plant the right fingertips somewhere under the middle of the chest. Drag those left fingertips up toward the ceiling, maybe bending into that right knee to achieve that. Just opening up through the heart space. And then melting that left hand back down. We'll do the same thing on the right. Dragging the right fingertips across the left arm from the chest, coming up toward the ceiling for a little change of perspective. Good, let's float that right hand back down to the mat. And from here, we're going to come into a downward dog. Our only downward dog of the practice today. So just walk the hands forward, maybe bring the feet a little closer together. Heels toward the mat, but it's okay if they're not touching. Feel free to bend into the knees if you need to, looking for that flat back position. And go ahead and make it dynamic here. So we're just incorporating this pose just for the sensation. So feel free to explore any kind of easy organic movement that your body's asking for. I'm just pedaling through the feet here. Whatever feels good. When you feel good about that, we're going to walk the hands out a little bit further, coming into a plank pose. Palms under the shoulders. Nice and strong here. Not going to be here long, but we are going to hold it for a second just to build strength and mental resilience and confidence. Maybe taking this time just to turn inward, noticing what you feel and where without getting overwhelmed. And when you've had enough, we'll slowly lower to the belly. Challenge yourself to go as slowly as you can, just resisting gravity all the way down. From here, let's extend through the feet, pressing into the tops of the feet. We'll extend through the elbows to press up for cobra. Melt it back down. And from here, we're going to come into a chest stretch to wrap up today's practice. So you might start from a Sphinx pose, just coming onto the forearms here with palms downward. Gaze is lifted. I'm going to come all the way down onto my chest. I'm going to move that left forearm to the outside edge of the left side of the mat, keeping my elbow at 90 degrees. Right palm is still here under my right shoulder. Now I'm going to use my right palm, right fingertips, just to roll up onto my left side, keeping that left forearm and palm where it is. I'm going to stack my knees, hips, and ankles. Just coming onto this like side body laying kind of pose. And then with your right palm under your right shoulder, you might press in or try extending through that right elbow to intensify the sensations in that left chest, left shoulder. Never forcing any shape or sensation, listening to the body, taking cues from the body. Practicing without judgment, with patience, gratitude, and love. Take your time here, just winding down. Reminding the body it's okay to relax. This is your practice, you are in control. And what we do to one side, we will do to the next. So we'll start just by extending through the legs, rolling onto the belly. You can come back to that Sphinx setup, coming onto the forearms, palms downward. I'm going to lower all the way down to the chest. I'm going to bring my right hand, right forearm to the outside edge of the right side of the mat with my elbow at 90 degrees. And then I'll use my left hand or left fingertips under the left shoulder just to guide me up onto stacked knees, hips, and ankles on the opposite side or second side. Once you're set up there, settle in. Make it as active or as passive as you'd like. Take your time here just to reflect on any mantras you brought to the practice, your perspective of the practice. Reconnect with the breath. You can stay here as long as you'd like. As long as this pose is serving you. We're going to move into our final meditative pose. You can choose what that is according to the needs that you have for your practice. Before we do that, take this time to incorporate any other movement that your body's asking you for before we settle in to the closing meditation. So I'm going to move into Shavasana. Feel free to take any final resting pose that works for you. Once you get there, start to settle in one more time. Take any other movement that you need and then come to stillness. We'll close this practice like we started it, nice and slow. Reflecting on the changing of seasons, the natural earth cycles. Our universal connection to the earth and to each other. Taking some time here just to slow down a little more. To absorb the nutrients of today's practice. To practice gratitude for the ability to move, to breathe, to think, to pursue spiritual endeavors. Taking this time to open up through the heart chakra, open up the heart space, practice an abundance mindset. And just generally prepare for a transition to a slower season. Take this time just to allow the mind and bodies to rest. Relax into this bubble of self-care that you've created for yourself in this safe space on your mat. As always, I would encourage you just to continue quiet meditation after we close the practice. Before we close today's practice, I want to recognize that I am leading the practice from unceded Monongahela and Osage territories. I encourage you to find out whose indigenous lands you're practicing from and how you can support their ongoing struggles toward liberation. I'm going to bring my palms together to rest gently at the forehead, at the third eye. Feel free to join me if that feels right, or just stay in your meditative pose. We also want to recognize that yoga is an ancient spiritual practice coming from Indian culture, the subcontinent of India. We also recognize that yoga functions in many ways for many people of the world, including as a community. I thank you so much for being part of my community today. I hope you got something you needed here today, and I hope to see you again soon. Namaste.